Coming home to who you are. Yes, coming home to who you are. Coming home to who you are. With Marcus and Mark.
Hey,
Hi, Marcus.
oh, wonderful to see you. Wonderful to see
Likewise.
you. You know, I say that every time, and I mean it every time. uh, I am in Fort Lauderdale at the moment. Let the audience know where you are at.
So I'm also in a different location once again. It seems like every week there's something else going on in the background. But I'm here in Co, which is a little village on the mountains near Lake Geneva. And yeah, I've been in the conference, Inner Development Goals, the IDG conference here, forum, if you like. It's kind of quite an intimate gathering, and it's been amazing. So it's just the end of it. It's the afternoon. We just closed off this morning. So yeah, really excited to join from this place, this beautiful place, really nice place.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
It's worth noting. My time here in Florida, it's it's with my family, my brother and his wife, and then my nieces and nephews, and it is a sense of home and a new understanding too. Like as we're going through this book, yeah, like you get to have these conversations in your head, and then you get to see it. My niece now, we were practicing salsa in the living room because her parents dance salsa,
Wow.
and then I just remember taking her to the park and holding her in my hands, and it's like now she's dancing salsa with me. That's awesome. And yeah, sorry, it's not the step on that, but it's just the juxtaposition of our experiences as it relates to the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always something new.
And I really feel that, as we have been doing this weekly deep dive into the chapters, that the chapters have been growing on us as well. That there's been this sort of parallel journey. And this last week is a great example of that.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that later. But I really feel that there's an embodiment of the book, of the chapters, of the character, and that it's sort of mirroring in our lives in some way as well, right? Just sort of seeing that, there's some synchronicities there somehow.
I think yes, and before that, yes is also we inputted ourselves into the characters. I always think of you when I'm thinking of Dean and his daughter. When I see the interactions between you and your daughter, Kenna and my father and myself, it's like we put ourselves in there, and then we processed ourselves in there, and then it's come to fruition inside our lives as we've lived it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very much so.
Well, we're actually at the last chapter of the last chapter of the main part. There's an epilogue, but it's Mumbai Calling. Mumbai Calling. Kenna Patel's journey comes full circle as he chooses to return to Mumbai against prestigious job opportunities or career opportunities, embracing his cultural roots while redefining success on his own terms. I talked about the conversation today. It's returning the boon. Are you familiar with that term?
Yeah, it's the from the hero's journey, right? Is that the? Yeah, maybe you can say a few words about that.
Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, returning the boon. A boon is a treasure or a gift, and we're constantly on a hero's journey. We're called away from home, we're changed, and then we're asked to come back. And when you return the boon, it's the hero having returned saying, "This is what I've learned, this is what I've seen, this is how I've been changed." And you're returning back to contribute to the community. Now, here's the funny thing, right? Oftentimes, not oftentimes, but there are times when the community or home does not accept you, or it's like you've changed.
Mm.
But it's still the hero saying, "This is my identity, this is who I am." And you change home a little bit, actually.
Mm.
Because all the story is change happens and we give it meaning. But when you return with that boon, when you return with that treasure, there are going to be elements of home that say, "Oh, yeah, this is our son who's returning. And you have gifts for us and you have something to give us." And some will reject it, some will receive it. But it's like you have to return home because that's who you are, that's where your security is, that's where you're safe, seen, soothed. And this is the nuance and dynamic of life. This is the beauty of life. It's the rub. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But yeah, any thoughts on that?
No, it's great. That's exactly what I think Kenna's journey has been about. It's going away, having, going through some inner transformation and uh, coming back home, but transformed, right? He's coming back to contribute, to be of service, to bring his gifts back to his country, to his homeland. So there's a much deeper sense of purpose and meaning in who he now is and what he has to offer. So yeah, it relates very much, but also I think the understanding of home also shifts. It's not necessarily defined in the same way that it was when you left home, right? Maybe home was like where your parents were, or the home that you grew up in, the house you grew up in, and perhaps after the journey, the definition of home expands. Maybe it's your land, right, or your people, or your the and I think that's also a beautiful thing is the concept of home can be very deep and very rich and very expansive. And I think that's happened with Kenna as well.
That's where we started the conversation. I often come back there, where it's home, a group of people, a state of being, a physical place. It made me think of, and I'll speak to my experience. However, you expressed something similar to this in our recent conversations. I had a lifelong friend who is home, a place where you feel safe, seen, secure, and so on. And in interactions with him, I'm like, "Oh yeah, this space has changed." And while it will be a place of home for me to return to, it's not the place I knew. And I may not, yeah, I don't experience, I choose not to experience that as much because my home is shifting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how life is. Yeah. Um, let's jump on with the conversation.
Yeah, let's finally start the conversation, Marcus.
Eh?
All this like small talk, it's
And for those watching, Mark and I are talking about coming home to who you are, a coming of age story, looking at education in the age of AI, and the subtitle is Education Re-Enlightened. This is the book. We've been working on the cover, actually. We'll talk about that afterwards. And if you want to get an advanced copy reader or be on the email list, you can go to the QR code here, or go to being at full potential / coming home / A lot of this is actually based on I wrote this with my experience in mind, as well as my students' experience in mind. I used to teach at an international school, and we always talked about identity and who are you. You yourself are a third culture kid, just like myself. And yeah, what is home? I'm going to read this quote and then let me see how you weigh in on it.
Yeah.
Sometimes the bravest thing isn't going far away to find yourself, it is returning home to share what you've learned. How does this resonate for you, Mark? I put you on the spot. Sorry, but
Yeah, no, returning home kind of implies that you've been far away or that you've been away, returning home to share what you've learned. Can you put it up again? Just sorry.
yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
I-
The bravest thing isn't going far away to find yourself, it's returning home. So yeah, what this sort of does for me is that we often look for answers outside, right? Whether it be teachers, workshops, books, um, films, documentaries. We look for the answers to our deeper questions, assuming that somebody else has that key. And what I sort of feel into this quote is that the answers are all within us, and it's actually courageous to look inward and to unlock the deeper aspects of who we are, and trusting that the sense of being home and coming home lies within and not without. So it doesn't say that exactly, but that's kind of how I feel, right? Is the going far away is like looking outward for solutions. But actually the bravest thing is looking inward. So returning home and sharing from that place.
yeah,
How about for you?
yeah. I just realized that I didn't finish that thought when I was talking about my experience as a teacher.
Mhm.
I was thinking about a grade 12 student when we were talking about what are you going to do now that you're graduated, and she said, "I'm gonna go out and find myself."
Mm.
And right when she said that, I remember we were in class, and I said audibly, but it was under my breath. I said, "As if you were ever lost."
Mhm.
And it's true. We do go out of ourselves to find ourselves. And I like to think we go back into ourselves to learn what we've found,
Mm.
as well as we need to go into ourselves to find ourselves
Mhm.
and then express it and go out into the world.
Mhm.
Like both of them are true.
Mhm. I think they're
Just at
both true
different,
indeed. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, just at different phases of your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Indeed, changing our scene, right? Changing the familiar, going into the unfamiliar spaces, meeting new people. It's a tremendous way to discover more of ourselves, right? It's a tremendous way of opening our horizons and gaining new experience, gaining new inspiration. And I think when that is combined with the courage to also look inward, then there's that weaving of a story uh, can really come through. But yeah, just staying in our comfort zone and trying to figure everything out on our own, sort of doing the inner work within our comfort zone, I feel like that is also probably not the solution. I think there's that travel, that sense of moving, going out, seeing things, experiencing new things, meeting new people. Like there's so much value in that too.
there's also value, and this is interesting. Anything that we do as an individual, we also do in a community, tribe. And what you're right now on a retreat. It's a conference, as you could say, but it's a gathering
Mhm.
of like-minded people, but you're coming together for an enclave or for your group to regenerate. This is your home. This is a home as people, and then you're going to go back out to serve again. So you're doing that as a collective. So we do it as individuals and we do it as a collective. I call it the mountain and the multitude. The mountain is where you charge up, you find your solitude. And then the multitude is when you're out amongst the people to pour into them and then rub up with them. And when I say rub up with them, but
Mm.
friction and pushback and stories, conflict.
Mm. That's
But yeah,
nice. Can you say it again? The mountain
and the multitude.
and the multitude.
You go to the mountain to be filled up as a highly sensitive person, but as a person, fully attuned,
Mm-hmm.
and you understand here, make sense of it, be in commune with higher powers, divine forces, and so on. And then you go out to serve the multitude, to say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, this is what I've learned. That's returning home, and that's returning home.
Mm.
But we're here as social beings. We are meant to be in interaction with other people.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm gonna read from the book
Mm-hmm.
the poem that Rosie leaves for Kenna.
Mm-hmm.
So in the story, Rosie, his poetic friend, slips him a letter and says, "Hey, open this when you're on the plane." She says, "Because I know you're returning home, I wrote this for you. You've grown so much since you've grown so much by following your intuition, and you're starting off on the journey again. All the best to you on your path. Here's the last poem from a friend with words. It's called Homecoming. Homecoming. I'm returning back to the truth, back to my roots, reconnecting back to who I am. Here it is, my heritage, the culture of my people and places that made me who I am. I'm returning back to the warmth and the security to see the earth, the elements, and community that made me, gave me my being, shaped my identity. This is the context in which my life has meaning. And my loved ones across generations will spread their arms, welcoming warm and wide like a oak tree's branches to receive me when they see me coming back home, back to my own, to where my story begins, where the winds whisper words of acceptance at my returning, back to the land, to be grounded, to find peace and harmony so my soul can momentarily remain when they see me come back home to gain a sense of self and belonging once again. Boom. That's it.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing. I love it. Rosie definitely has a way with words, doesn't she?
You know where I wrote that? Where and
Mhm.
why and how I wrote that?
Tell us.
Tell us. Yeah. I was in the Bahamas one year ago this time. And in South Angeles, there's this thing called homecoming. And my father was going back to the village where he grew up in, or the town. And I wrote it because it was a topic on mine. And he went on the radio and he read it. He was the host for homecoming. Like he was promoting it. And I wrote it because he was going back home. Yeah.
Wow. So your father read this on radio, this
Yeah.
poem, and you gifted it to him, and he, yeah.
Life experiences at the moment. Yeah. He inspired it, or him going back to homecoming inspired it.
Yeah.
We were writing that part in the book, and I said, "Hey, let me put this homecoming poem here."
Yeah.
And yeah,
There you go. It's another one of those synchronicities, huh, where different storylines weave together.
it's all vibrations, Mark. And when you tune in and when you listen, you see the vibes and the signals.
Mm.
You tune out the noise. And when I say noise, when I say it's all vibrations, but all messages are the arrangements of vibrations. And you just sent vibrations, and then you make meaning of it, and you choose to actually how you want to contribute to it. Yeah, there's a lot of poetry in here that's what I love about writing. You're organizing your thoughts and you're making sense of it, and then when you return to it, you're like, I remember what was happening when I wrote that.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, no, I love it. And what a gift for Kenna to feel so well understood by his friend, right? I think what Rosie is essentially doing is speaking to the essence of what his return back to India represents, right? She speaks about heritage, culture, people, the context, the generations, the land. These I think are so elemental, right? And that is what it's almost like that it's the magnet of the earth, the land, which is pulling us. Um, and I felt that here over the last week, because
Tell me about
there
it.
were, yeah. Um,
Sorry, I cut you off.
no, no, no,
Continue.
no. You asked me. Um, so we started the day with a circle around the fire and really practicing um, native traditions and connection to the earth, connection to the land, connection to the tree, and this real deep feeling that we are one, right? And that
Hmm.
um, that we are connected to where we come from. We're connected to our ancestors, and that like that has been sort of the vibration of these last couple of days. And so the sense of coming home and realizing that there is a connection to the land where we come from, right? There's a connection to our ancestors and to our culture and our heritage and all of that, and how important it is to honor that, and how much force is there, right? So I feel that that's part of what is drawing Kenna back as well. It's not just to serve and to find deeper meaning in how he can contribute as an engineer, but there's also something maybe more profound about his homeland and where he comes from, and that is maybe not yet the full awareness within him, but I think in the poem I got that feeling of
Yeah.
that maybe that's also what Rosie was sensing into.
I I I wrote about the welcoming aspect of home, and there's this line in the Bible where it says, a prophet is not welcomed at home. They're welcomed everywhere except at home because they know you, right?
Hmm.
It talked about culture, which is shared identity. Then there's also the aspect of, oh yeah, you've changed. Who are you? And I remember, so I sometimes identify as American. I was born in America and I grew up in America until I was 13. And I remember I am also half Filipino, and I am Filipino. I grew up in that culture, but I am also Bahamian. And I remember speaking with a Bahamian woman one time. It's just like, she said, no matter how much, like, you will always be a son of the sun, sand, and sea, like of the soil.
Hmm.
Because at times you don't feel like it. And I
Hmm.
don't know how you feel. Like, are you Canadian or are you Belgian or
Hmm.
even still? I don't even know. but it shifts, right? But this is the thing: when you go back to serve, you have to serve from a place of knowing who you are. Because regardless if they receive you or not, it's like, I'm doing this because I am, you know?
Mhm.
And you can find yourselves connecting with the elements, and you have to do that. When I say connecting with the elements, understanding you're a part of all of this. And then when you serve from that place of, let's say, abundance or all of this or fullness, regardless if they receive you or not, it's like, no, no, I am. I know why I'm doing this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And Mother Earth is will receive us, right? Nature will receive us. Like that's also, I feel like a different way of looking at it. If maybe um, through our change, through our process, the people who have known us for a long time don't recognize us necessarily in the same way, and there might be some more distance, uh, which then of course opens up the opportunity for new relationships to come up. But what I also can feel is that Mother Earth is receiving us unconditionally, and
Mm.
there is a sense of the more I know myself, the more comfortable I will be in that realm, right? In the spirit realm, or in the um, connection to the elements realm, connection to nature.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like it's always vibrations, right? To be in connection to that. Hmm. Some people say death is a returning home. I don't know. That just popped into my head, just
I
as you
can,
were speaking of returning to the elements.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Um.
That's actually quite a beautiful way of it's another layer, isn't it? There's just
Yeah.
so many layers to this homecoming piece. But yeah, death is returning home, returning to source.
And it's a breaking of your identity. Mark, I apologize. My charger's not here, and I need to step away for a moment.
Yeah. Hey,
This is
whoever is joining us will if
I'm still gonna talk.
and maybe I can just continue to talk. Uh, can you hear me, Marcus?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just continue to go on because something amazing happened in this week, which I can maybe briefly share. Is I had the opportunity to participate in a talent show, which was one of the evening events here during the conference, and I had no intention of participating. I was really enjoying. I was planning to just enjoy all the talents that are here, and then last minute the inspiration came to sign up and to step up and trust myself, just like our dear friend Kenna had to trust himself. And it was really incredible because I just embodied Kenna and stood up there on stage for a couple of minutes and spoke about my journey as a young engineer through the embodiment of Kenna, um, and channeling what he had experienced throughout his studies and what he had learned, and in doing so introducing this story, the bigger story. So it was through sort of the lens of one of the characters, and really speaking through his voice, being able to uh, start to tell the bigger story around education and the changes in education, but to do it from one perspective, right? Just from that character. And it was such an amazing experience to, and I think that the fun part of it was the spontaneity, right? And that
Mm.
last minute sense of like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to trust myself that it's something fun is going to come out of it. So yeah, that was a nice way to embody the story, a nice way to embody the character, and also to just bring a little bit of more awareness to this changing education story.
Yeah. Boom. Can you hear me clearly? Because
Yep, you're live.
okay. Yeah, I remember when you're telling me that you had a moment of, do I go up or do I not go up?
Mm,
And you said the voice said, trust yourself.
yes,
And when you
exactly.
said that, I was like, yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
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 Well, Mark, I'm looking forward to when we can be in person to sign a copy of the book and exchange it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that will be a homecoming for me. Until then, I'm looking forward to our launch date in September. And uh, we have one more podcast. Are you open
And
to
we have
that?
one more session just to wrap the whole thing up. There's the epilogue, which I think will be nice to dive into. But I think also just to take a step back and reflect on this journey we've been on. 23 sessions, 23 weeks, just showing up every week, one week after another, and how the impact it's had on us, right, as an individual, the impact it's had on the story, the rewrites that we're doing. So I think that would be very nice to just take a moment to reflect on that one.
Yeah, to bookend it.
Yeah.
Boom. All right. Thank you once again for those watching on the recording. This is Mark and Marcus sharing our book, Coming Home to Who You Are, the coming of age story where education is re-enlightened in the age of AI. You can go here if you want to advance reader copy. I always point to the wrong side. Scan the QR code or go to beingatfullpotential.com, homecoming, coming home. All right, Mark. Um,
Yeah. It's been a pleasure.
until yeah, it's always been a pleasure. And until we come home, uh, be beautiful where you are. All right.
Thank you, Marcus.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's cut off with our theme music.